This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Difficulties reducing headcount and falling sales are irritating Tesla CEO Elon Musk, according to a publication called The Information. They're referencing the EV maker's Q1 sales, which were down 9% to under 390,000 units, as well as its efforts to get rid of 10% of its global workforce. But that amounts to roughly 14,000 people, or nearly the same as Rivian's entire workforce, and it's probably taking a little longer than expected. So now Musk is fueling more layoffs himself. On top of the 10%, two executives, one the senior director of EV charging, the other the director of vehicle programs and new product initiatives, and most of their staff, which includes roughly 500 employees at the EV charging group, are being let go. No word on what will happen to the various projects they were working on, so we'll have to wait and see if these layoffs have an impact on Tesla. Just a few days ago, Hyundai announced a shift to focus more on hybrids in North America, including making them at its new plant in the U.S. and Georgia, which was only supposed to make EVs. But its shift to hybrids is more global than that. The Hyundai Group, including Kia, also plan to launch hybrid CUVs in India by 2026 or 2027. India, which has the largest population in the world, is quickly becoming an important market for the group. It plans to sell nearly 900,000 vehicles in the country this year and produce 1.5 million vehicles in India by next year. And the hybrid plans come on top of its EV expansion in the country. Hyundai will mass produce its first EV in India by the end of the year and have 5 by 2030, and Kia will start EV production there next year. The group says it's all about being committed to a future of electrified mobility. It was a tough first quarter for Volkswagen, Stellantis, and Mercedes-Benz. All three reported a drop in sales and profits. At Stellantis, sales were down 10% to 1.3 million vehicles, which brought down revenue 12% to 41.7 billion euros. But it did not release any profit numbers because Stellantis only reports full financial results at the end of each half. At the Volkswagen Group, sales came in at 2.1 million vehicles, down 2%. Revenue dropped by less than 1% to 75.5 billion euros, but its operating profit fell by 20% to 4.6 billion euros. VW says that sales at Audi and Porsche were down 5%, which helps explain why operating profits fell so much. At Mercedes-Benz, sales fell 8% to 463,000 units, though sales of vans were up 7%. EVs were down 8%, but PHEVs rose 6%. Revenue fell 4.3% to 35.8 billion euros, and net profit plummeted 25% to just a shade over 3 billion. All three companies say they expect to do a lot better in the second half of the year, which suggests that the second quarter results may not be that good either. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, finalized a rule making automatic emergency braking technology standard on all new vehicles in the U.S. By 2029, all new light passenger vehicles must be equipped with forward collision warning, pedestrian detection braking, and automatic emergency braking. Around 90% of new vehicles today are available with emergency braking under a voluntary agreement with automakers, but there are no performance requirements. The new rule sets those standards. The systems must stop a vehicle with another vehicle in front of it at speeds up to 62 miles an hour. It also has to apply the brakes automatically at speeds up to 90 miles an hour when a collision with a lead vehicle is imminent, and up to 45 miles an hour when a pedestrian is detected. The systems must also work at night. NHTSA estimates that the mandate will add $82 in cost per vehicle, but it will save 362 lives and prevent 24,000 injuries a year. And speaking of safety, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, or IIHS, is calling on automakers to offer more standard safety features for light delivery vans. Based on federal crash data from 2016 to 2021, The IIHS estimates that equipping every light van with front crash prevention, lane departure prevention, blind spot detection, and intelligent speed assistance could address 26% of all police-reported crashes, 22% of injury crashes, and 37% of fatal crashes involving light vans. Thanks to the growth in e-commerce, more delivery vans are on the road now. About 500,000 light vans are sold in the U.S. every year.
When the elements are working against you, being confident in your grip on the road is what really matters. Bridgestone Alenza tires, improved acceleration in wet conditions.
Rivian is opening up its charging network to all EVs. Later this year, it will start installing new chargers that are taller, have longer charging cables, and can charge EVs with either a 400 or 800 volt architecture. At first, they will feature CCS connectors, but will also be compatible with Tesla's connector with an improved adapter. I know both Rivian and Ford have already started making those adapters available to their customers. And Rivian says later versions of the new charger will also come with a Tesla connector, which is also known as the North American Charging Standard, or NACS, or SAE J3400. Rivian's network currently has about 400 DC fast chargers in North America, but it plans to grow that to 3,500 fast chargers and 10,000 plus level 2 chargers. Polestar and EV battery startup StoreDot just demonstrated fast charging that's almost as fast as filling up with gas. A Polestar 5 prototype equipped with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery pack was able to charge from 10 to 80% in just 10 minutes, adding 200 miles of range. The charging rate of the vehicle started at 310 kilowatts and then peaked at over 370. StoreDot's fast-charging battery technology features silicon-dominant cells that have an energy density that's on par with NMC cells without the need for a special cooling system. It uses software to help achieve the fast charging times, and the companies say the pack could be increased to at least 100 kilowatt hours. And in other EV battery news, Chinese automaker NIO announced that its semi-solid-state battery will launch in June. It's a 150 kilowatt-hour battery that has the same dimensions as all of NIO's other batteries. So thanks to its battery swapping technology, all of its customers can use it. However, NIO is only renting the battery to customers because it's believed to cost just as much as NIO's ET5 model. Owners with a 70 or 75 kilowatt-hour battery can rent the new pack for $21 a day, and those with a 100 kilowatt-hour pack only have to pay $14. The semi-solid-state battery has a range of 1,000 kilometers or 621 miles based on the Chinese test cycle, and it has the highest energy density of any mass-produced battery pack in China right now. Porsche continues to pioneer the use of synthetic or e-fuels. The upcoming season of the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup Racing Series will run exclusively on e-fuels for the first time. The fuel, which comes from a pilot plant in Chile, will allow the up to 32 cars in the field to drastically cut their CO2 emissions. And this is all about keeping ICE vehicles around, not just on the racetrack, but all past and present gas-burning Porsches. The EU recently eased up on ICE bans by 2035 to allow vehicles that run on e-fuels. So the testing and development in the Porsche Racing Series will be useful. The biggest hurdle currently looks like building out an infrastructure for e-fuels so prices can come down. We've heard it costs 3 times as much as standard higher octane fuel. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi Compute Module. The NeoVi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the NeoVi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the NeoVi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many Intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.